You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension.
There is nothing wrong with your television. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are now controlling the transmission. We control the horizontal and the vertical.
Oh, great! It's Monsters, our favorite show.
It's starting.
Welcome, everybody, to the inaugural episode of Tales from the TV, a podcast where we will watch the oddities and mysteries that filled the airways from years past, including beloved shows such as The Twilight Zone, Tales from the Crypt, and Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and some lesser-known favorites like The Outer Limits, Monsters, and Tales from the Dark Side. This will likely be the most timely we will ever be on reviewing a show. But in honor of Halloween and because the Treehouse of Horror is one of the most beloved anthology series of all time, it only made sense to christen this new podcast with a series of this caliber. And I don't know if, did I say my name?
Not yet.
Oh, my name is Remy Militello. I am one of the three hosts of this podcast. If you like my voice and what I do here, you can find more of it at YouTube. Just type in Remy Militello, REMYMILITELLO. And you can also catch me occasionally on the Video Game Randomizer podcast, which is hosted by Rico and another co-host. Passing it over.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? I'm super excited for this podcast. As Remy said, I have another podcast. It's a video game podcast, and we pick games out of a hat, and then we talk about them. And we have random guests, no one famous, obviously. Yeah,
but fun guests.
Yeah, that is. Yes, but we don't want famous people anyways, unless you want to come on. But yeah, so it's called the Video Game Randomizer. You can find us anywhere you can get your podcast, and yeah, that's about it.
Okay, so Joe, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Joe Thurston. I am your third host of this wonderful show. And I unfortunately don't have anything else to plug, but you can occasionally catch me on Rico's Video Game Randomizer as a guest. And I look forward to seeing you more here.
Yeah, and our very own beloved Joe will be a fixture of Tales from the Television.
I hope so.
I don't see why not, unless for bearing something horrible. Should be fine.
Both of these guys were on my last podcast too. We talked about our Halloween memories, and we ranked our top 5 horror games.
We did, which is relevant. So if you like that, check up a link out for that in the description if you're watching this on YouTube, or in the show notes if this is the audio version. Also, I just put out the second part of my story concerning carnivorous snow. So if that's something that sounds not awful to you, go and check that out on my YouTubes. But enough plugs and such. Should we start talking about
we
Simpsons
already lost everyone.
Treehouse of Horror 32?
Let's get into it. We got all our shows out of the way. Yeah, let's get into it.
All right. So I thought it made kind of sense. That's a great sentence. Thought it made sense for us to go through what our sort of relationship with the Treehouse of Horror is before we review this. And one of the reasons is I'm a gigantic fan of The Simpsons and the Treehouse of Horror in general. This was my pick. So it was agreed upon pick, but I was the one who put it forward. And the Treehouse of Horror has been around since October 25th, 1990. So it's older than probably many of the people listening to this. But it has remained a yearly tradition ever since. The format takes the form of 3 discrete vignettes with occasionally a wraparound segment. This most recent one, the 32nd iteration of it, is what we watched tonight. and that originally aired on October 10th, 2021. This one breaks the formula a bit by having 5 shorts instead of just the normal 3, including Barty, This Side of Parasite, Nightmare on Elm Tree, The Telltale Bart, and Dead Ringer. So what are your sort of relationships with Treehouse of Horror? Anyone can go. Joe or Rico.
Well, I remember when I was younger, because us living so close to Canada, we used to get CBC, and every weekday from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, there would be an hour block of Simpsons.
Yeah,
and I used to love when this time of year would come around, because there would always be Treehouse of Horrors on.
And it was the good seasons. It was only seasons like 1 through 10, so it was fantastic.
That was the 90s was the best era of The Simpsons, and we used to get those all the time. We'd sit down for dinner and watch them, or after dinner, before dinner, whatever. And it was great when these ones would come on, because it was our only way of watching them. Things weren't streaming back then, so we kind of just had to wait, and whatever you got. And
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that honestly, to me, The Simpsons before the days of streaming was such a godsend, because it was like a great show that was on for like 4 hours a day or something like that, depending on the channels, because it was like Fox showed it from like 11 to midnight, and CBC showed it from like 4 to 5, so I guess 2 hours. But like still, that's 2 hours of concentrated something I know I will like on TV every day, which is like, that was a lot for that period of time. Did you ever watch that weird South Park ripoff that CBC used to show before The Simpsons?
I don't think I did. No,
I have no idea what that is.
You guys missed out. I can't remember what it was called, but it was bad. Maybe that has an anthology episode in it.
So Treehouse of Horror, exactly. I remember I used to watch it with my dad, just The Simpsons in general, every Sunday. And we actually used to video record the beginning of The Simpsons on videotape, like all the introductions. And we had like probably like 25 like different intros, because they're all different. So
did you record the episodes or just the intros?
No, not the episodes,
really?
Just the intros. So it would be like
the whole
it would cut
too.
from, we would record the intros and then stop the tape. So we had a tape. I don't know where this tape is now. I wish I could find it. It might be at my parents' house. I have no idea. And then just stop it. The Simpsons. And then, so that was always cool, but I haven't watched The Simpsons in so long. This is the first new Simpsons episode I've watched in like over a decade, probably. But I always remember the 2 aliens. I forgot their names.
Kang and Kodos.
Yes, those are a staple for Halloween season.
They're literally like, they only exist in the Halloween verse, outside of whatever weird cameo here and there. They're never in the main line.
They should get a spin-off.
They should get an episode at least.
The Simpsons hasn't had a spin-off yet, has it?
No, and it never will. So I know you don't watch it anymore, because like the modern Simpsons has essentially become, I wouldn't say a spin-off, but it's become very side character focused. And in a good way, honestly. They've fleshed out a lot of characters that have kind of just been one note for a long time. But I recently got back into The Simpsons once we got Disney Plus, because I was a huge fan for years and years. And then I went through and rewatched all of the Treehouse of Horror several times once I got Disney Plus. And then have just been sort of working my way through the series. And I think it's like anything, because like a lot of people hate The Simpsons now because it's perceived to not be funny. And I think that was true for a period of time. I think seasons like 14 to 17 are pretty bad, but then it like rebounds. So it's like, you know, perception is hard to beat when it's been like a decade. So
I don't think people give it a chance anymore, honestly.
I agree. I don't think they do at all, because they remember when it was bad, and it's like, there's no way any good. And like much to everybody's shock, yeah, 30 years in, it's actually still pretty good. It shouldn't be. It should be much worse than it is.
Yeah.
Good. But Joe,
I would like to check it out.
Oh.
Go ahead, Joe. Or go ahead.
I was gonna say, Joe, what did you think of this episode?
Overall, I enjoyed it because I'm one of those people you just spoke about. I'm not the biggest fan of
Sure.
current Simpsons, and I watch them.
I think that's most people.
See, the thing is, I don't think they're terrible. I get laughs out of them. It's just they're not
the same.
It's not as condensed as the old ones used to be.
Mm-mm.
Like I'll get a laugh here and there, but the old ones I could just watch them and I'm laughing my ass off the entire time. Yeah. But there were things I watched it a few times, and the first time I kind of just brushed it off, and I shouldn't have done that. And after watching it through a couple more times, I actually noticed things I liked and enjoyed it more with each subsequent viewing. And yeah, I'm glad you picked this one because it gave me a reason to dig into some of the newer ones, because I went back a few at your recommendation. I watched the last couple.
Wasn't the last one super good?
Yeah, the Toy Story segment was great.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites, honestly, in the entirety of this whole shebang. I really love the Toy Gory, not the best named segment, but it's a really great segment.
Yeah, overall it delivered.
What do you think, Rico?
I didn't watch the last one, but I do you think we should go from down the episode? We'll start at the beginning and then
talk about the first one.
Talk about it that way.
Yeah, the first one. Let me look up the
Bambi skit.
Yeah, the Bambi skit.
Barty.
Yeah, not the best portmanteau of Bambi and Bart.
I didn't mind that one because it was only a few minutes long.
Yeah,
it was.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
It gave you a feel good. Was it called Bambi's Revenge or something? Because that's basically okay. Because it gave me a feel good for revenge for Bambi. Watching Bambi as a kid and crying my eyes out.
The ending thing is really funny though. Like it's a good thing where you're herbivore. It's like, yeah, and your names are Herb today. that was great. I enjoyed that. So, and the first one was the Parasite parody, I believe.
Well, I like the shipping up the bus, and I don't understand how that's
the what?
That bothers me.
Shipping up the bus and pops on after Homer kills I haven't watched Simpsons so long. I forget these people's name. Mr. Burns. Mr. Burns kills Mr. Burns and then shipping up the bus and pops on.
Yeah,
which is odd for Halloween.
It's weird. Really it's a weird choice that they picked. There's so many. That song
always gets me pumped though.
Yeah, I didn't really like any of that just because they're usually so good at having like a very just generally like spooky themed intro with like something like
usually it's like
that happens and like weird like eerie music and stuff.
Yeah.
So when they did the whole Bambi thing and then it just cut into Dropkick Murphys, it kind of it felt weird. I didn't really much care for that, to be honest.
I like that. It got me pumped up.
So I actually feel like this one in general is a little strange, and I think I might have the answer for why that is. So when I was doing a little reading about this, I found out this one was actually the second Halloween special made for the 32nd season, and it ended up being a holdover for the 33rd, which means they'd already made a Halloween special when they made this one. So they were probably willing to try some weirder things, and maybe we're scraping the bottom of the barrel in a couple cases.
Just put on Dropkick Murphys.
Yeah.
Shipping up to Boston. It's in like every show.
We need a Ring parody 20 years after the Ring was relevant. Well, we're not there yet. But
the first skit is my favorite skit by far.
The Bambi one?
That was good.
No, the Parasite skit.
The Parasite one is definitely the best one, I would say, by quite a bit.
And have you guys
I haven't finished it, but I've seen over half of it. I really liked what I've seen so far.
I watched it Tuesday for the first time because I didn't want this spoiling it for me.
No shit.
And I'm glad I did because that was great.
Well, if you don't know, Parasite won the 2020 Academy Award for Best Picture. It's from
Seemingly deserved it, which is nice.
It is a great movie. It's from director Bong. I'm gonna butcher this. Bong Joon-ho, South Korean director. It's basically about like class discrimination. It's a thriller and like class warfare, basically.
Yeah.
A great movie. And I watched this thing not knowing anything about the movie. I didn't even know it won the Academy Award. I watched it like 6 months ago.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know it won an Academy Award either. Because like I'm so entrenched in horror things, I don't even really pay attention to the Academy Award. So that's just cool news to me. I'm glad it did.
Yeah, it's
So you
an
can add
awesome
that
movie.
and like The Exorcist into the horror movie so good they're forced to recognize them as movies.
But it really it basically shows the whole movie. Besides
The
So
ending
the end-
is
the end
clearly
is-
a little different.
yes, the
Yes.
end's a lot different, but
But yeah, it's got
like the
the
first
big
part
twists
of it,
in it.
yeah, exactly. But
It condenses
I
it
like this bit.
hilariously quickly too.
And like the pizza boxes in the background, that's spot on. I like how he goes you
So
smell
you're-
like a poor person.
Yeah, he reeks of class resentment. It's just boiling over. That was great. That was really funny.
Kirk Van Houten was the best part of that episode,
Yeah,
of that segment, because he was such a perfect character for that role. Because he's just such a pathetic sad sack.
yeah, it had to be him or Gus. Those are like the classic losers.
And then they showed Snowpiercer on the TV. They called it
Yeah,
Dolepiercer.
which was really cool. That was
Well,
really...
you know that's made by the same director as Parasite.
really.
The show, or not the show, the movie
movie?
Snowpiercer.
I
Yeah,
had no idea. That's so
Yes.
cool. It's a good movie.
yeah, it is a good movie.
Yeah.
And I guess they have a show on that. I've never
I
watched.
heard it's not as good, but yes, that does.
I like the
exist.
movie though.
The
Yeah,
movie's great. I don't think it needs
So-
a TV show, but yeah.
I think it's on like season 2 or 3, maybe.
Oh, guys.
Yes, but I like that because same director, so it was pretty cool.
That's neat. Did not know that, but that's fun. Yeah, that solidifies that for sure as being the best one out of the three.
And then 2 of them are good with the lame one in the middle.
Yeah.
as Homer says in the
As Homer
episode.
said. But I actually thought the lame one was the third one. I thought that one was by far the weakest of these three.
That's fair.
Because like
I thought the whole thing got lame after this. I watched it a second time and I was
yeah, I was actually pretty down on this the first time when I was done because I thought it was such a massive step down from the last couple of years. I rewatched it and I think I softened a little bit on the second one, but I hardened even further on the third one. I just really disliked it, especially the end. I hate the end. I hate the ghost girl being like Lisa and her interests and personality. I'm out of here. And it's like I hate that joke, and it's like it's dumb. Like I hated that one. I thought the
Well, you
Bart
wanna-
home thing was cool.
want to dig into the first. Let's dig into the second one. The
Yeah,
tree
sorry.
skit then. Dig into that. I
The
don't
tree
have
one.
much for this. They
The-
just
okay.
remind me of the Lord of the Rings trees.
Oh, the
murdering
ends?
people.
I have a segment of bitching about this one. Nightmare on Elm Street just feels like a very tired retread of better done episodes like Attack of the 50-Foot Eyesores, where the billboards came back to life and we got the great line of "Don't scratch up them heads," yelled at the Pep Boys. Even the one where the dolphins take over the planet was better than this, or the one where Homer becomes the Blob is similar and better. Overall, they've done this one like I think this is like the 5th or 6th time we've done this kind of story, and like this is definitely the worst one out of all of them. So that's what I have to say about Nightmare on Elm Tree. Joe, do you have any
I was the
feelings on
one that
this?
hated all the new episodes. I didn't mind this at all. I mean,
God.
it wasn't my favorite by any stretch, but I like one thing I loved about it is that it starts the same exact way the original Treehouse of Horror starts. With
That
all
is
the kids
true.
Up in the tree telling
Yeah.
stories, and Bart's trying to scare everyone. Only he's got the phone under his face,
Which
with
is
the light.
fun. I
They
didn't
don't
like
do that.
touch.
They don't do that anymore.
No, they've not
No,
done that.
no,
in
Okay.
many
everyone
years.
starts different, but that's how the
Yeah.
original one started.
like the
which I really
original
like that.
two-
I
or
actually
three of them.
watched I watched the first two, I think, last week.
Yeah,
They hold up pretty well,
Great.
even though the first few of them.
yeah. Like I kind of like the main tree. I thought he was kind of funny.
The tree
Well,
was
when he-
funny. There's some good bits. I thought the transplant joke was pretty funny, if a little eye rolly.
Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah, it's funny.
But the pollen bit was funny. I thought groundskeeper Willie cutting his arms off was pretty funny. But yeah,
I like
overall
Willie.
it was pretty lame. A lot of puns. I'm gonna hit me a homer, then the bat hits Homer.
Yeah,
That's a little funny, but
the
also they like
Burns
really
family
leaned into
tree.
that.
The bat made a funny sound though when it clunked him
Yeah.
on the head at the end, and like a funny clunking sound will always get me.
That's true. A
I
good
don't know.
clunk is.
I'm a
worth
simple
lot.
man.
Yeah.
And they had like the Burns family tree, and then
The giving tree,
yeah, and then
Yeah, that
the
was
basketball player. I don't remember his name.
tree something. Yeah,
Oh,
that was
yeah,
pretty
you-
good.
Tree Rollins or something. So
Yeah, and then I don't know if anyone else noticed, but Saul was playing at the movie theater.
I did
Mm,
notice
thought that was
that. I
kinda
really
funny.
enjoyed that.
It was
Um,
stupid and insignificant, but I appreciated that.
Yeah, that was funny. Did anyone
then,
else think
I
it's
think-
like, man, they should really just invent fire and set these trees on fire? Like, we can't even. That would really help out. I know it's a cartoon, but like,
do you?
come on. I'm pretty sure.
I like that. They're like, you'd make a good beanbag chair.
It's like I can't dispute
I
that.
don't- Yeah. I wasn't. It was okay the first time, and then I didn't need to rewatch it.
So the next one is the poem, The Telltale Bart, which
Is it Telltale?
I love that one.
well, no, that was what it was. That's the original one, is The Raven. This is just a collection of, I think it's called The Telltale.
The Telltale Bart.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
I
it's
didn't know
just
what the hell-
It's just a poem that, I think this is based off a real poem, but they just inserted Bart into it. And I really like the art style, and it's fun.
It's so good.
It
I wish
ends
there was
too
more of
soon.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was hoping that this was going to be the final segment, and it's not.
Yeah.
And God, I wish it had been. But yeah, I don't know if there's a lot to say about this. It's
I
like a
didn't
cool
know-
art style with a fun thing, but it ends very soon.
I didn't know if it was like Nightmare Before Christmas or what they were trying to
I think
go.
it's
go with
based
there.
off a poem that Poe did. I think.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Telltale Heart is, but I don't know. I don't think any of that, like the going through the alphabet thing, has anything to do with that.
No, it doesn't have anything to do with the Telltale
Yeah.
Heart, but that going through the months thing, I think is an actual.
Oh yeah, the months, duh.
Yeah, I think it is an actual rhyme.
Probably.
Whether or not Edgar Allan Poe wrote that, I don't know, but I think that is a real rhyme. But either way, that one. So this got me thinking. One year, I would really like them to try like a ABCs of horror kind of thing, where it's like
That'd be cool.
26 like very short stories for one episode. I think that would be super fun. Where we get like 10 like Barty and the poem instead of just 3 maybe mediocre, maybe bad longer stories. So let's get into the last one, Dead Ringer. What did we think of
hold on.
this?
Real quick on that last one,
Sure.
I wanted to give props to Maurice LaMarche for that wonderful Vincent Price.
Yeah, man, he is a killer
Like,
Vincent
if-
Price.
If I didn't know Vincent Price was dead, I would probably think that was him.
That man is
That
a
was so
national
good.
treasure.
And like seriously, like go look at him up on IMDb. And it is ridiculous how many cartoons, being 90s kids, you
Yeah, I
guys would
know.
appreciate how many
It-
cartoons he
It blows your
did
mind.
voices for. Yeah.
It blows
so
your
many
mind that
voices.
both the Green Lantern and the Brain are voiced by the same man.
Yeah. He was Helga's father on Hey Arnold. He was like a
That's
bunch
weird.
of people, like main characters in Futurama. And
Yeah, he's
they-
everybody. He's like every side character plus Hermie is in Futurama.
Yeah, he's got like 250 credits or something.
It's insane. He's truly like the hardest working man.
Yeah. My favorite one that I saw on there that I just wanted to share because it made me laugh is he's credited as Buddy's Belch on Elf.
An elf?
Yeah,
That makes
remember
me so happy.
the scene where he just
Yeah.
pounds the 2-liter and burps real loud. that was this dude. He's a treasure, and he needs to be protected.
God, that makes me happy.
I rest my case.
Yeah. So what about how do we feel
That's-
about Dead Ringer? I don't think we're going to get anything as interesting as the Marsh.
My only note on that one was that I love Ralph Wiggum.
Yeah,
I had
Ralph's
the
great.
same. I had the same thing.
And
Yeah.
when he kills Sherry and Terry and then says, I killed Jerry and Larry,
Yeah, that was
I
really
laughed
good. That's
really
probably the
hard.
funniest part of that whole episode.
That's about. It's. I have that in my
and that was
notes
like
too.
the first 5 seconds of the episode, and then it just
I know it goes downhill so
I
fast.
killed Jerry and Larry.
Yeah, man, I did not like this one at all. It was so lazy, and like the ring is how old, guys? What are we doing here? It's so old they had to make it a TikTok thing in order to make it relevant again.
Yeah, was that like
originally it was a
a
VHS tape?
was that like a clickbait kind of reference too? Did you ever see that show on Netflix? It's new.
Oh no, I
Clickbait.
haven't seen that.
Oh,
I just
it's
know
something.
it's clearly the ring. Like it's
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
the ring. And like, guys, it's like the ring is 20 something years old. We couldn't think of anything. There's other horror movies, like the Parasite one was pretty good. Like you did a Happy Death Day one last year that was great. Like, you know, try again. Cabin Fever, why not? Cannibal Holocaust, Simpsons style. But like, I don't know, man. I just thought this was so uninteresting and like not very funny. And again, I hate how it ended. So that's me being a Debbie Downer of the alleged fan of the show.
Yeah, I like Willie in it. That's about it.
Willie was good.
And
Yeah.
Ralph Wiggum.
Willie's always great though.
Yeah,
does
he
help.
is great.
Did you guys notice that during the one with the trees, there's the mascot with the tree on it that comes to life is walking
Yeah.
around? And in this
he's-
one,
he's
when
in
they're
the
going into
background.
Willie's shack, it's just like walking.
Yeah.
When I first saw that, the first time I
It was a
watched
nice
it, I was
touch.
like,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that at first because I didn't notice it in the tree episode.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the fuck is that tree just doing walking? And I was watching it today and I noticed that was from the earlier one. Thought that was kind of cool. But
Yeah, it's a really nice callback.
yeah, I agree. This one was kind of whatever. And I don't like that they just shoved Kang and Kodos into the end
Welcome
like that.
to half of the Halloween specials.
Yeah.
That's what I have at the end. I'm glad I at least seen them because
They're in every single
look
one,
forward
often
to
at the
them.
shoved into the very end like this. That's very
And like,
common.
usually, and sometimes
very beginning.
it's funny when they do that, but this time
Yeah.
they like even acknowledge that they were just
Yeah.
shoved in at the end, like
They're-
someone forgot or something.
There was one that was really funny that was when they were talking about how the aspect ratio changed because a bunch of fans were bitching about it, and it was like the screen kept getting smaller around them until it was a 4:3, and he yells out, just because it looks like season 4 doesn't make it season 4.
It's pretty good.
So that was good. But yeah, this one, it literally is they're just sort of running along to be like, don't end the episode without us. We exist, please. We matter. I voted for Kodos.
would you recommend watching this?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? It's a tradition. Even if it sucks, watch it anyway.
Yeah, I guess you gotta watch it every year if you're into it.
Yeah, if you are an all Treehouse of Horror fan, just watch it. And if you haven't seen all of them, go watch all of them. I think you should do that.
It's only
There's only 30 of them,
22
32 of them.
minutes to
Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
long, and most of them are very good. This one I would put on the lower echelon. I would probably give it like a C minus, like it passes, but just barely passes.
Joe. How about you?
I recommend it. Yeah. I mean, it's not from like a banger from beginning to end, but we all found things we liked about it. And I'm sure people would find things funny that we didn't.
That's true.
It's all up to whatever you like, which characters you like, maybe someone who's a huge Ring fan out there would appreciate that one.
That's true. I also
But-
disproportionately like Lisa, so I really don't like when they shit on Lisa. So I'm sure that does color my judgment.
That's fair. But yeah, I would absolutely, it's like you said, Rico, it's only like 20 some minutes. It's not a big waste of your time.
It's also, which we should have said before, it's available on Hulu to watch
It
now.
is. And it
We
will be
forgot to
then
say
available
that.
on
So
Disney
too
Plus.
too late to pause the podcast and go back, but
Yeah, you'll figure it
mean,
out. Type in
yeah.
simpsons.simpsonscom.bizninja@hulu.gov and you'll find it. So do we have any closing thoughts on this or the podcast game? What we're doing next?
Joe, you got anything on this episode?
No, that's about it.
I like the Parasite part because I love that movie, but that's about it.
I'm gonna rewatch all the other ones before Halloween. I think it doesn't take that long. It's really like an afternoon, so like I think I want to do that. And yeah, so what did we decide what we're watching for our next episode?
Yes, we did. I think we should get to the game first that I have planned for you guys.
Oh, what's the game?
Okay,
Delightful.
so I have a game for you guys, and
So
if you guys
excited.
like it, I'm gonna try to do one every episode.
Let's do it. I'm stoked.
All right. I'm gonna get a beer for this one.
Okay. I'm gonna sit in my chair.
All right. So I'm gonna call this game. Wait. Oh. Now I gotta find it.
He's been teasing us with this game.
There it is. All right, I'm gonna call this game Which Show Did It? All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna read you a story and the summary of the episode, and you're gonna guess which anthology series is it from.
All right, let's do it. This sounds great.
Good to you guys?
Yeah.
All right.
Simpsons
so
did it.
which show had this as a story? So this episode stars Ron Perlman, aka Hellboy, also Clay from Sons of Anarchy. All right, so former Army Lieutenant Colonel Brandon Grace, which is Hellboy, is working in a real estate development firm. The pressure is on, however. They've lost the last 6 contracts they've bid on. Oh no. And Brandon is having a horrific flashbacks involving violent scenes of death and destruction. He visits his ex-wife, hoping to see his daughter Cammie, but she is run over by a car, driven by someone wearing an army uniform. It's very jarring, too. He's approached by Jennifer Rigby, who says she's from the Veterans Administration, but nothing I'm sorry.
Can I
Is
dig
as a-
in? I think I know
is-
what show this is.
as it appears. No, I'm going to give you a multiple choice at the end.
Okay.
And the military is seeking a key piece of information, the identity of the traitor in his military unit. So I'm going to give you a multiple choice just in case you're playing at home. Okay. And I'm going to give, we'll have Joe guess first since you think you know it. All right. So
Probably
A, the Outer Limits 90s series. B, Tales from the Dark Side. Or C, the Twilight Zone 80s series. Which show was it? What series is this from? Joe, you want to guess first?
Well,
No looking up answers either over there. Remy.
You can see me.
I can't see your
hands, buddy.
screen.
Hands where we can see them.
He's in his
I'm
encyclopedia.
like 90% sure I know what this is, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Honestly, while you were reading that to me, I was having a hard time following it.
It's just
And-
convoluted enough.
Yes, yeah. For me, it doesn't take much. I feel like I've seen every Tales from the Dark Side. I don't recall.
They
this
can't
being one.
afford Ron Perlman. Even a no-name Ron Perlman.
I'm gonna say Outer Limits.
Remy?
It's the 80s Twilight Zone.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
I'm keeping tailies on this too.
Oh God.
It's the Outer Limits 90s
Fuck!
series.
Fuck! I was so sure.
It's
So
actually hold
sure.
on.
It's the 90s Outer Limits.
Yes, it's episode. It's season 4, episode 25 of the Outer Limits 90s series.
Damn.
It was on TV like last week. It's called The Black Box.
That's so convoluted. It had to be an 80s. Twilight.
My weird train of thought was based on roughly how old I feel Ron Perlman is. He probably would have been too young in the 80s to play that character.
My guess.
I may be wrong about
He
that.
looks old in this one.
He's so old, man. He's so old. Yeah, I'm sure he looks
got that
old in the
big
90s.
face.
My guess, if it wasn't, but it wasn't on there, so it wasn't an issue. If it wasn't 80s Twilight Zone, I was gonna guess Tales from the Crypt because that sounded.
I was gonna
Tales from
put
the
that.
Crypty.
I was gonna put that on there,
Yeah.
but I figured you might know it. Also, my Tales from the Crypt DVD just came in.
Yay! Sorry.
So, but I was gonna put Tales from the Crypt, but
It sounded vaguely familiar, but
I
by the time you
figured you
got
would
to the
know.
end, I was like, no, this isn't that because like that's not how any of these things end. They don't give a fuck about some spies and secrets. It's always like, oh, you brought
It
the
was-
mummy back.
it was very weird. I think I fell asleep during the episode too. So
And that sounds too expensive for Tales from the Dark Side. They like stories that take place in a room.
I think Outer Limits 90s was on Showtime.
I think it was as well. And then Sci-Fi
That's
picked
pretty
it up after it
crazy.
got canceled, which is how I
Okay.
watched all of it.
That was like their
I actually think I've
Combat
seen
with
this thing
Tales
you're
from the
talking
Crypt?
about. Yeah, there was. I think I've seen this thing you're talking about. That's Outer Limits because I've watched Outer Limits and Tales from the Crypt constantly on Sci-Fi because they used to just show like giant blocks of it during the day. It's like here's
So-
8 hours of Outer Limits. Enjoy.
they play it all day long.
Ron
Yeah.
Perlman's in his 70s, so my train of thought was bullshit.
You were right though. So,
He was in his 30s. He totally could have
Yeah.
played that role.
Joe's up 1-0.
Yay! Mr. Magoo my
Boo.
way into a point.
So what we're gonna do is, so we're gonna go in order. Remy picked this episode, so I'm gonna pick the next episode, and then Joe's gonna pick the episode after that, and then we're just gonna keep rolling it out in that order.
Sounds good.
So next episode, watch along with us. We're gonna watch the Twilight Zone original series, and we're gonna watch season 1, episode 24. It's called Long Live Walter Jameson. So it's available on Hulu and Paramount Plus for if you have those services. It's probably available on Amazon Prime, but don't pay that. Just
in a
go to
local internet
And,
website near you if you know how to get it.
Yeah,
Not that we're
yeah, the
advocating for that.
podcasting,
We're not advocating for that. Don't steal kids.
But, and
you know.
so you go watch along with us for the next episode, and then we can come back and talk about it.
Yay, I'm excited. I haven't watched Twilight Zone in a long time, so I'm very excited.
Very nice. Should we if anyone wants to contact us,
Oh yeah.
give us suggestions on episodes or comments, concerns, whatever. Our email is talesfromthetv@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Twitter @talesfromthetv, which I'm shocked was still available.
Was not taken.
And that's Tales, TALES.
Yeah, not TAILS, like someone who will go unnamed spelled it earlier before he changed it.
Not the guy from Sonic.
Not that guy. Not Miles Tails Prower.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the Miles Prower fan club.
Anything else you guys got? Anything coming up for you guys?
No, I'm working on my next Bigfoot and hopefully last Bigfoot video for a while. And another 2-sentence horror thing. And I still have to do the things for my book. I have too much shit going on.
You're Bigfooted out, huh?
I'm so Bigfooted out. I am very proud of how this video is turning out because I think it's both entertaining, informative, and hilarious. Some of these things I found. So
Is your second Bigfoot episode out?
no, I'm working. I'm like 70% done.
Okay.
I made a lot
I
of
thought you
progress on
released it. Okay.
No,
Okay.
I did make a lot of progress on it.
What's the second episode about? Just
It's
one?
Bigfoot in the news. It's news articles
okay.
and news stories about Bigfoot and how good they are. They're
Forward
great.
to that.
They're great.
Yeah, I have a wedding Sunday on Halloween. So should be a fun weekend for me. We're also covering Dragon Ball Z Kakarot on the next episode of the video game randomizer, which you should go check out.
Check it out.
And
Kamehame.
we are on at randomizer game on Twitter. You can go check that out too. And I'm not looking forward to playing any more of this game. And I can't wait to pick a new game.
How deep in it are you?
Not that deep. I gotta start. I really gotta start like digging in like this next week.
Do you?
Yeah, I guess I'm still on Reddit.
Isn't he like? That's so early. So I haven't played this game, but I know Dragon Ball Z. That's
It's
like
just
the
not-
first thing.
Not my kind of game, man.
Is it a fighting game? What is it?
No, I don't know. It's like an
Yeah.
open world. You do fight in the air, and like he beat me twice. So I try to like drop the difficulty down just so I can breeze through
Yeah.
the game, and it won't let me. So I'm like, are you fucking kidding
Oh
me?
no!
So now I'm on. I mean, I'm on like normal, but
Sure,
I think
yeah.
maybe after I beat him, I might be able to drop the difficulty down.
I
But...
hate when games do that. Let me do it easier. I don't want this.
Well, it said that in the beginning I can drop the difficulty down. But enough about Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, the people here don't. Nobody cares about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's until we see you guys again. What should we say at the end of these? I say have a horrifying week. That seems somehow inappropriate here. So what should we say? Well,
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys. Until we
What's,
come up with a catchphrase. See you next week.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.